product. Okay, so let's see subcontracting. What is subcontracting? What does it deals with? What are the various activities that we are supposed to perform? So as you know, as everybody knows, subcontracting is nothing but you are giving your work to somebody else, and that person will complete it and give it back to you in the form of semi-finished or finished work. Okay, so that is what we call it as subcontracting. So therefore, subcontracting involves the procurement of partial or complete manufacture of an end product where the components are supplied to the vendors. Like I said, your work will be done by somebody else. It could be partial or it could be complete. That's the reason I said some of the work will be carried out by the vendor, and he will return the material in the form of semi-finished or finished. If it is semi-finished, it means he has done partial work. If it is finished, it means he has done a complete work on the components that you have sent to the supplier. Okay, so let's have a look at the process. The process, as you have seen the other day, the consignment process is almost similar, or rather all the B2B procurement to pay process are similar except one or two steps. Again, this particular subcontracting process also starts with purchase requisition creation like any other procurement processes. Either you create a purchase requisition or what we'll call it as a scheduling agreement requisition for the finished product. Okay, ensure that bill of material is created for the finished product, and once you have that ready, you convert the requisition into purchase order. Check whether the bill of materials are triggered in the purchase order or not. You will be creating a purchase order and giving it to the vendor for the services that you are procuring from the vendor. It's not for the entire material, but it's only the service that you procure from the vendor, right? So once you create a purchase order, you have to issue the components to the vendor so that he will do value addition or whatever the service that you are requesting him to do on the components, right? So therefore you have to do this post goods issue with reference to the purchase order. Once you have done this one, the goods, I mean to say the components will be available with the vendor. He will do whatever he is supposed to do, the value addition or the work, the contractual work, he will be performing it. And then you receive those components upon which the vendor has done some work, either in the form of finished product or in the form of semi-finished product, for which you will be doing goods receipt, right? So once you receive the goods, vendor will send you an invoice for whatever service that he has done, and then the payment needs to be done for that service. Okay, so this is the cycle. Okay, so this is the cycle. Subcontracting in purchasing, as we discussed it just now, you have to have the subcontracting material, you have to have the subcontracting vendor, and you also have to create a bill of materials, plus you have to have subcontracting info record. These are 4 master data requirements to be fulfilled. Okay, what are they? Material, subcontracting vendor. Those 2, plus you have to create a bill of materials for the main product. Then you have to have a info record. Okay. Once you have all these 4 requirements, then you are ready to go ahead. Okay, so let me just log into the system. Okay, so no, this is not the user ID. My user ID is this one. Password. Okay, then let me have a look at what materials do we have in our land. so that I can use some of the materials as components or some of the materials as finished product. Okay, so I have hard disk, RAM. Just give me a moment. Let me take all these things together. MAKT is the table where I could see the descriptions of those materials. Okay, so here I have hard disk for desktop computer, CPU, 2 GB RAM. Okay, do I have a computer itself? No. 2 GB RAM, CPU, hard disk. Okay, I don't have any material with the computer. So therefore, what I do is I go and create a new material, MM01. Okay, so manufacturing industry, material type CMRO, you could choose this one, and then basic data 1 to purchasing, general plan data 1 to accounting. Okay, so here I would say 777C and 0001 as the plant. It has default settings. So what am I going to do now is I'm going to create a new material, something called 777C. I would call it as desktop computer. I would go with electronics as the material group. Okay, and purchasing group as NIS, purchasing value key ZN, GR processing time 1. Okay, come back to accounting view, valuation class, choose some of the valuation class, and moving average place. Desktop computer, let's say 15,000. Okay, 10,418 is my material. 10,418 is my material. Let it get saved. I'll just go with display the material. So this is my material number. So what's the next thing? I have created my material. I have the components list, as you could see here from the MAKT table. I'm going to use 2 GB RAM, CPU for desktop computer, hard disk, etc. So therefore, now the next thing is I'm going to create bill of materials. What do I require? There's a transaction code for create bill of material. What do I require? You can simply go with production process master data.
Sir, వినపడుతుంది సార్?
Yeah. మీకేమైనా ప్రాబ్లం అండి? Are you facing any trouble?
No, మధ్యలో బ్రేక్ వస్తుంది.
Yeah, sir, మీ వాయిస్ ఈకో అవుతుంది సార్.
మీ దగ్గర నుంచేమో. Can you please be on mute?
మ్యూట్ చేయమంటారా?
Yeah. మీరు unless you are speaking, please be on mute.
సార్ మీ వాయిస్ డబుల్ వినపడుతుంది. ఒకసారి చెప్పాక మళ్ళీ సేమ్ అది వెనకాల బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో వస్తుంది సార్.
Yeah, that's because you are not on mute అండి. So please be on mute so that it won't appear.
ఇప్పుడే నేను అన్మ్యూట్ చేశాను.
So how is it now? Pavitra, is it okay
Now
now?
it is okay. If it again replies, I'll let you know, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Okay, Radhika, you also please be on mute, unless you wanted to speak something. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Thank you. Okay, so let me use a transaction code called CS01. This is what we call it as a PP module transaction. Create materialistic BOM. Actually, BOMs are of different types. Okay, if you want to see what types of BOMs are possible, give me a moment. Search underscore SAP underscore menu. There are different types of BOMs. What we call it as material BOM, equipment BOM, document BOM, location BOM, so on and so forth. Okay. So let me show you. Where was it? Okay, let's see here. Engineering bill of materials, central functions. When you go into logistics, central functions, engineering bill of materials. So here you could see these are various types of BOMs: material, document, equipment, location, order BOM, WBS BOM, so on and so forth. Out of this you have to choose this one because you are working with the material, so therefore you have to go with CS01 transaction. This is your main material. In which plant? 77C. BOM usage. Okay, you can go with the one. This is production. This is for the production requirement purpose, right? And then you go with enter. You see here there is an item category L which is automatically getting defaulted, and now you specify list of materials which you require to create one desktop computer. I require 2 GB RAM, so this is my material number. Okay, I put it as 2 GB RAM, and then desktop CPU, DT CPU, and also what is the other one? Hard disk. Okay, come on, one second. So hard disk, hit enter. Okay, I need to specify the quantity. How many RAMs do I require? Let's say 2 RAMs. Okay, I could have entered in the previous screen itself. And then how many CPUs do I require? 1 CPU. How many hard disks do I require? 2. Okay, now you see here 2 GB RAMs, 1 CPU, 1 hard disk is required to assemble one desktop computer, which is my finished product. Okay, in other way, I will be giving 2 RAMs, 1 CPU, 1 hard disk to the serviceman. He will assemble all these things into one desktop computer and give it to me. So that assembling work I am not doing myself, I am giving it subcontract to my third party vendor, or rather some other vendor. Okay, I'll just go and save it. Right, so now I assume it got saved, the bill of material. Right, what is the next step? As you would have seen here, I have prerequisites. Material master needs to be created, bill of material needs to be created, vendor, I have already some 5-6 vendors, I can use any of the vendor. And then the next thing would be info record creation, because that is also a master data. So therefore, let me go and create ME11, create info record. For which vendor? Let's choose some vendor. I think 777 is the thing. I'm going with Venkat as the vendor. Purchasing Organization 777C. You see here, you have to choose info record category as subcontracting. I'll just go and say hit enter. Okay. Now here, when you go with hit enter, standard quantity, minimum of say 10, net price is service charge in assembling one desktop. Okay, this is not the material price. Remember, in case of subcontracting info record, the question people will ask you in interview is, what price do you maintain in the subcontracting info record? Everybody will say, yeah, subcontracting material price. It's not that one. It's the service charge that the vendor charges for the service that he is performing on your components. The components are not owned by the vendor, but rather they are the company's own stock, which he will be issuing to the vendor, where he will be adding some service and giving it back to you. So therefore, it's the service charge. Right? Now you go and save it. So now I've got a material, I've got a vendor, I've got a bill of material, I've got the info record also. All my prerequisites are fulfilled. I have now left with creation of a purchase requisition for the finished product. How many desktops do I have to create? Do I have to assemble? Do I have to manufacture? So based on the demand or based on the requirement, you will be creating a purchase requisition. Okay, you could see here the material is what is the material? Sorry, give me a moment. This is the material.
418.
Yeah, it's 418. So this is my material. Quantity, let's say 20. Hit enter. The plant is 77C, Chennai plant. Now you see what is that I am giving. I wanted 20 desktops to be manufactured or 20 desktops to be assembled. Is this, what type of item is this? This is a subcontracting item. So therefore you have to choose item category L. Okay, maybe in the next 3 or 4 sessions I will help you understand it, like to answer the question of Pavitra yesterday. You asked me, I don't want to enter L here. The L should be automatically defaulted, for which I have already told you there is a special procurement indicator in the MRP2 view. So if you maintain that, it will come automatically. Okay, so how to maintain that, I will explain you in the next 3 to 4 classes when we work with MRP. At that point of time, I'll show you how to get this L or third party item, yes, or consignment item, how to get defaulted. I'll help you understand in the next 4 sessions. Okay, now you see I'm manually putting item category L. That means my system will come to know that this is a subcontracting item. Not possible to determine any components. Why? It's not determining components. What's the reason? Come on. 1 sec. Give me a moment. Explore down. I thought I have maintained the bill of material. Has it not been saved or what? Looks like it's not saved. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me just quickly go and see if it is already there or not. Bill of material, item overview, not found for this material. It's not there. It means it's not created. I thought it's been created. Let's redo it once again. So let's DT CPU, GB RAM. I need component of 1 here. This is 1, this is 2 pieces. Okay, and I can go with save. What's happening? It is supposed to get saved, but why is it not getting saved? Seems there is some problem here. So the BOM is not getting saved. I did not have to enter anything out here. Sorry, Andy. Sorry, Andy.
Computer.
I'm sorry, I did not get you, Sundaragar. I'm sorry, I did not get you, Sundaragar.
Just material DT computer.
Yeah. DT and desktop and it.
Yes, sir.
Why is it not getting saved? That's the question. When I go with save, it's not getting saved. I'll just go and save. No, there is something wrong, Andy, because it's not getting saved. So therefore here when I go and create or go with execute explode BOM, it's not getting exploded. So therefore I'm maintaining it manually here once again. Okay. You can just go one step back, check it now. Now you see here, like this, it needs to get exploded, provided if the BOM gets saved. For some reason it's not getting saved, but that's okay. I will just go and save my requisition. So this is the starting step. I have created a purchase requisition saying that I need 10 desktop computers at my Chennai plant. So let's go with display. Okay, so this is my purchase requisition. So once a requisition is created, what is the next step? The next step is to convert requisition into purchase order. Isn't it? Look at this. Once you have a requisition, and provided if the BOM is there, it will be converted into purchase order, and then the purchase order will be given it to the supplier. Okay, so I have my purchase requisition. Let me add my requisition number here. Okay, so -77C, and let's give the vendor Venkat with whom you have created info record. Okay. Right, you could see here quantity of 20. Price is also getting defaulted, which is nothing but the service price. Now if you can go into material, if you look at explode BOM, you would still see the bar, right? So once you are done with the purchase order creation, you go and save it. Can you just give me a moment? Yes. Sundarao garu unnara meeru? Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Pavitra and Radhika వినిపిస్తుందండి?
Yes sir. వినపడుతుంది సార్.
Are you facing any?
సుందరరావు గారు ఆఫ్లైన్ లో కనిపిస్తున్నారు.
Yeah, he is the guy who called me, but call తీసుకునే లోపు ఆయన కట్ చేశారు. Are you facing any problems? Voice breaking అట్లా ఏమైనా ఉందండి? All right. Okay, so let me just give him a call and find out what's his problem. He must be going out. Okay, so once you create a purchase order, the next thing is you have to give these components. Which components? The components that you see in the bill of material. These components you have to send it to the supplier. Okay, so that is what we call it as post goods issue. Post goods issue of the components to the vendor. Which vendor? This vendor. Okay, so let's do that step. There is a separate transaction code for that, which you can use it. I don't know, his call is not going, so let me see. Alright, so therefore you can either use the transaction or you can navigate it from here. Logistics, material management, purchasing, I think in environment, is it environment? No. Purchase order, list display, this one. You see here, ME2O, subcontracting stocks per vendor, SC stocks per vendor. You go and use this one. What is the vendor number for the subcontracting PO? This guy, 2401559. So therefore you give this vendor number and you just have to go and execute. This will give you, you see here, 2 GB RAM, DT CPU, DT hard disk, etc. They need to be supplied. Okay, so when you look at it, why it is only 222 quantity? What is the purchase order quantity that we have used? It's 20, right? Just give me a moment. Explore down. Yeah, it's because of here, so we need to change this one. So it is 20. This also 20, and RAMs, 2 RAMs a computer, so therefore it is 40. Okay, so let me just go back and you save it. right? So now let's go back once again, rerun the transaction so that you should be able to see. It's not getting refreshed. Just give me a moment. Now you go and see. You see here, if you click this plus link, you could see here requirements via subcontracting orders 19.7 with reference to this PO from this storage location. You have to issue how many components? 40. You see here subcontracting stock 0. It means currently stock available with the subcontractor is 0. Available in the subcontracting stock is 40. So now at this moment, let me show you the stock overview, MMV. Okay, so this is your finished product. You just go and have a look at it. Do I have any desktop computers right now? You see here, there's nothing, but you would see it in open order stock. Now come back, look at here. If I go and have a look at what is the stock available for my hard disks, how much stock is there for hard disk? Currently there is 0. Similarly for the CPU, do I have any stock here right now? Because if I have to issue, I have to have some stock, right? Similarly 2 GB RAMs, do I have any stock? There is, I assume there is no stock. So therefore what I have to do is I have to first keep some stock into my storage location. For that I would be using MB1C, other goods receipt, movement type 501, okay, 0001. I can keep some stock over here. Okay, see here 2 GB RAM of say 45, 22, 22. I'll just go and put some stock into my storage location so that it can be used. Just give me a moment. Hello? Intended? హలో సార్ చెప్పండి. డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయిందా? లేదండి, వాళ్ళంతా ఉన్నారే, పవిత్రను రాధిక వాళ్ళిద్దరూ ఉన్నారే. మళ్ళీ మీరు లాగిన్ కండి అయితే. రైట్, మీ దగ్గర ఐడి ఉంది కదా? నువ్వు తాళం తీసుకున్నావా? నీ తాళం. Okay, since there is some account assignment issues for these two materials, let's go and sort it out. Can you help me? How do I do this? Because we have already completed MMFI integration or account declaration. Pavitra. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Pavitra, can you hear me? వినిపిస్తుందండి? హలో? రాధిక గారు వినిపిస్తుందా మీకు?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Since Pavitra is on still mute. Okay. So what I am asking is, you see here, I have got this problem. Account information for entry INT ZDB NISN ZOB 3001 not possible. Can you help me? How do I do this? just click on proceed.
Proceed. Yeah.
Cancel. Then you'll have to go with account assignment. Okay, and then here you should be seeing GBB. Just go with GBB, and then you type in INT. So INT GBB. Now you look at the error. INT GBB NISN ZOB.
NISS. Yeah.
But this combination
NISS.
in account. So what you should do? You should look for something called 0001 ZOB 3001.
001.
Okay. So what you see here, for this combination, these are the accounts. I assume these accounts are given by my FICO colleague. So therefore I copy this, the first line. I change this to NISN ZOB and 3001. So therefore the issue gets resolved automatically. Okay, so once you are done with it, 3 times back, then say hit enter, so that you won't see or you won't face any issues. Okay, this is for 3000. Again, the same way you have to do. Okay, so once again, go with ZBB. Same way, 3001 ZOB. This time you choose 3000. Okay, you copy this to NISN, isn't it? So therefore, the issue will get resolved automatically. Right? So hit enter. 3 materials has got 3 different valuation classes. So therefore, you have this problem. Same way, for 3003. Okay, so 3003 was not there. So therefore, what I do is I simply this one and make it to 3003, and I use the same GL account. Save. Okay. Once you are saved, just go with back and say hit enter. Therefore, now these 3 materials will get deposited, or rather 3 materials will be put into the stock account. Take some time. Let's wait. మీ నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అండి అయితే సుందరరావు గారు, మీ నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అయితే వీళ్ళిద్దరూ ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ. అదేనండి మీ నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అంటున్నా. సుందరరావు గారు వినిపిస్తుందా? మీకు వినపట్లేదా ఇప్పుడు ఫోన్లో? కాదండి, మీకు ఫోన్లో వినిపిస్తుందా నేను చెప్పేది? ఫోన్లోనే వినపట్లేదా? సరే, వేరే నంబర్ నేర్చుకోవాలి. వినిపిస్తుందండి ఇప్పుడు? ఇది మీకు నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అనుకుంటా. మీ నెట్ పోయిందేమో, ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోండి. మీకు ఇంటర్నెట్ పనిచేస్తుందా? అదే ఇంటర్నెట్ పోతే ఇంకా మరి అవ్వదండి. మీరు ఒకసారి మీ సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్తో మాట్లాడండి. బిల్డర్కి అయితే ప్రాబ్లం ఏం లేదు, దేవర్ దేర్. ఓకే అండి. Okay, so now you could see here the material document was posted, so it means the stock will be getting updated. I'll just refresh it. You would see 45 RAMs. Similarly, if you go and look at your CPUs, you would have some stock here. Select 22. Similarly, hard disks also, if you go with it, you would see 22. Now, because you have got the stock, you can now go back to your ME2O. Okay, where is that processing components? Okay, this one. Yes, stock monitoring, right? Now, look at here. Now, if you want to issue RAMs to the subcontractor, you can just have a look at it here. You can select a line item, that is the item which you wanted to issue to the supplier. Now you see there is something called post goods issue. If you go and click it here, a small pop-up window will appear. You see here how much quantity is supposed to be issued will be defaulted automatically. If you want to change the quantity, you can change it and say okay. That means what? 20 will be issued and 20 yet to be issued. There will be a material document gets posted because you are doing goods issue. You see here one item posted. Now you see here on top there is 20. That means what? SC stock. SC stock means subcontractor stock. What is this? 2 GB RAM. Look at here. Stock overview. Now if I go and hit 2 GB RAM, look at, you see here, stock provided to vendor. How much? 20. You know why it is, where it is coming from? It is coming from here. Because you have already issued 20. 20 is there with the vendor and 25 is there in your storage location. Okay. So now, like this, all the components you have to issue. Okay, so normally we will select everything together and then go to post goods issue. Just for the sake of example to show you that way, I did select 20 only. Now you see here, I'll go with post goods issue. For 2 GB RAM, there are 20 more pieces to be posted. Just go ahead with it. Then for the DT CPU, desktop CPU, 20 needs to be posted. Go ahead with it. And then for the hard disks, 20 to be posted. Simply go ahead and say okay. Now you see here 3 items were posted. Once having done this, you see here the below lines, they were in the green color, 0. That means what? All the items to be issued to the customer, to be issued to the vendor have already been issued. No more pendings, right? So then what you should do? What is the process? Look back the process. I have issued the components to the supplier like this. Then supplier received my components and then he will start doing whatever the activity that he is supposed to perform. In this case, he will assemble the desktops. Now, I just wanted to tell you one more thing here. If I go and refresh, initially what is the stock that I have for the 2 GB RAM at my plant? 45, isn't it? Look at this. It is still 45, right? The stock did not get reduced. Why? Because though the stock is available with the vendor, it is my own stock. So therefore it says 40 is with the vendor, 5 is in my stores. So that it is 45. The stock has not been changed even though you have issued the components to the supplier. Though it is with the supplier, it's your own stock, therefore the stock quantity will not get changed after post goods issue step in the subcontracting process. Okay, subcontractor received the components and then he assumed he assembled the desktop computer, right? So therefore, now what we have to do, once the desktop computers are assembled, he will deliver the material to you. Therefore, you have to do goods receipt. So the next step is goods receipt for the subcontracting PO. Look at here. After goods issue, the next step is goods receipt. Okay. So the next step is goods receipt for the finished product. Okay. So let me do goods receipt /n MIGO. This is goods receipt with reference to PO. So therefore, you should go with either MI0 or MB01. So what's my PO number? This is my PO number. Let's go and have a look at this one. This is my PO. The goods receipt for subcontracting order will actually do two activities: goods receipt for the finished product and also goods issue completion for the components. What does it mean? Let me tell you this way. Look back at your stock overview. Here, though the stock is issued to the vendor, okay, it shows as stock provided to the vendor. Now you have provided stock to the vendor. Vendor has done some work, and then he is returning the components back to you in the form of finished product. So therefore, while receiving the finished product, the components which were given in the previous step were assumed to be consumed. So therefore, for the goods receipt with reference to PO of a subcontracting PO, you will be doing two things. One is goods receipt for the finished product. Second one is goods issue completion for the components which were issued already. That means what? When you do goods receipt, these 40 components are stock provided to vendor. This will be vanished for all the three materials, right? So that's the reason we have included goods receipt plus goods issue. That is goods receipt of a finished product plus goods issue completion of the components which were issued here in this step, the preceding step. Okay. Now you see here, you could actually see this one. You are doing goods receipt. You see here, desktop computer, you are doing goods receipt. If you click on this plus, you would actually see the components. 2 GB RAMs receiving 40, desktop computer receiving 20, and then there is also one more thing, hard disk 20. All these components you are receiving in return in the form of desktop computers. So therefore, these components are assumed to be consumed while receiving the finished product, and hence only at this point of time the stock needs to be reduced for the components, right? So what I do, I'll simply close this one, check this one, go with item OK, quantity I'm receiving 20, putting it in my 0001 storage location. Okay, assume it they have been shipped properly, so therefore shipping instruction compliance. I'll go with check. Now you could see INT ZBB NISN VBO 3001 3000 3003 not possible. This is for the finished components. Like what did I said? At the time of receiving the finished product, components issue is assumed to be completed. So for that it has to determine the account, which is not happening. So therefore this error. So what I do is I'll go back to account assignment or the automatic account determination and complete this step. Look at here, go proceed, account assignment. Now you see here INT GBB NISN VBO. This VBO is nothing but components provided to the supplier. Okay, this is again an offsetting entry, so therefore GBB. Okay, what I do is I go with 0001 as a reference, VBO 3000. Okay, so 3000, 3001, 3003. I got 3 errors, so therefore I copy this 1. I also copy this. Okay, it's not happening one by one. That's okay. And then I go with NISN, and then I also go with the third one, NISN VBO 3003. Save it. All the 3 entries will be saved. Back, back, back. 3 times back, and then you close this, say once again check, and you go with post. There is one more thing, that is INT BSV 3006, not possible. Let's go and have a look at this. INT BSV dash 3006. Let's see what is this INT BSV. Okay, so BSV is change in stock. Okay, so you see here INT BSV 3006, there is no account, so it means here valuation grouping code and valuation class is not required. What is required? INT BSV with a valuation class and account is required. INT BSV is there, valuation class of 3006, which is not there here, so therefore an error. So what I do, I simply copy it and change this 3001 to 3006. Save it. Okay, 3 times back, 1, 2, 3. Close this error message and you check it once again. Okay, then you post it. There's one more thing, FRL. Therefore, even this one also, you just go and post it. Right, INT FRL. You could see here, there will be somewhere here FRL. Okay, what is this? INT FRL 3006. INT FRL 3006, there is no account, so let me use 3006 even for this. All these accounts needs to be given by your FI colleague, and he in turn will receive it from the finance department. Okay, you check it now. Post it. I hope it gets posted completely now. Any questions so far? This is the typical step, and after this we will go with one more thing, that is a variant in the subcontracting. Now you see, subcontracting goods listing document was posted. I will just go and display the document. Okay, now I told you at the time of receiving finished product, the components are assumed to be consumed, therefore the stock quantity reduces for the components. Now you see here, go back to your stock overview. So I have done the receipt for the finished product, that is what desktop computer. I am receiving desktop computer, and which includes 2 GB RAM also. So therefore this 40 will be vanished from here. You see here, it's only 5 because you have already received 20 desktops. If you ask me where is RAMs, I would say inside the desktop. Similarly, for the other components, hard disks, if you go and have a look at it, 20 will be taken out and only 2 will be there. Same is the case with even the DT CPU also. and if you take the final product, that is the desktop computer itself. So what is the status for the desktop computer? Can you tell me, Radhika or Pavitra?
We have already received 20.
Correct. So therefore, the stock should appear as,
The remaining will be
no. This is for
remaining.
the finished product, right? So desktop 20 I have received. So therefore, the stock should be 20.
Remaining 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Remaining
Now the
20. Yes.
Now the question will be, the question that the interview, even if I am there in the interview, the question that we ask is, what account will get updated in case of goods for a subcontracting purchase order? Are you getting my point? What account will get updated in case of goods for a subcontracting purchase order? Very, very important question. 90% of the people will not be able to answer this question. Let me help you understand which accounts will get updated and how. Okay, so look at here. Come on, that's okay. I'll just open our Excel sheet so that it will be useful for you. While explaining also, it will be easy for me. Which accounts will get updated for GR with reference to subcon PO. Okay, look at here. ఏమేం జరుగుతున్నాయండి ఇక్కడ? మనం ఏమనుకున్నాం, యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ గూడ్స్ రిసీట్ ఫర్ ద ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్. ఓకే, సో అసలు ఏమేం ప్రోడక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి? ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఉంది, దెన్ కాంపోనెంట్ 1, you have got component 2, isn't it? You have got component 3. ఫినిష్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్ గూడ్స్ రిసీవ్ చేశారు అంటే ఏమైంది? దీని క్వాంటిటీ పెరిగిందా లేదండి? Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quantity has been increased. Yeah.
క్వాంటిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిందంటే దాని ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి? స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ అప్డేట్ అవుతుంది, అంతే కదా?
Yes.
ఓకే, సో దీనికి ఏమవుతుందంటే I would say stock account
Will get up.
Okay, come on. దీనికి ఏమనుకుంటున్నాం మనం? ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ కి క్వాంటిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది కాబట్టి, సో యు ఆర్ సేయింగ్ లైక్ స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఇస్ గెటింగ్ అప్డేటెడ్. మరి కాంపోనెంట్స్ కి ఏంటంటే పరిస్థితి? నేనేం చెప్పాను మీకు? ఎట్ ద టైమ్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ రిసీట్ ఫర్ ఎ ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్, ద కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఆర్ assumed టు బి కన్స్యూమ్డ్ వైల్ రిసీవింగ్ ది మెయిన్ ప్రోడక్ట్. అంటే ఏంటి? కాంపోనెంట్స్ కన్స్యూమ్ అయిపోయినాయి అంటే మీరు ఇక్కడ చూసారు స్టాక్ ఓవర్ వ్యూలో. స్టాక్ ఓవర్ వ్యూలో వెన్ యూ లుక్ ఎట్ ఇట్, స్టాక్ తగ్గిందా లేదా? వీటికి ఇనిషియల్ గా 22 ఉండేది ఉన్నాయి. అంటే ఏంటి? వీటి స్టాక్ అకౌంట్స్ కూడా అప్డేట్ కావాలి కదా, కాంపోనెంట్స్ కూడా. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే, సో స్టాక్ అకౌంట్స్ అప్డేట్ కావాలి. ఆల్ రైట్, బాగుంది. గూడ్స్ రిసీవ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమనుకున్నాం మనం? స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఫర్ ద మెయిన్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అప్డేట్ అవుతుంది, బాగానే ఉంది. మరి దేర్ ఇస్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ కాల్డ్ GRIR అకౌంట్. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ ఇండికేట్స్? It indicates the amount to be paid to the vendor. అది కావాలి కదా మనకి?
Yes.
So let me go to the display document entry. Look at here. Inventory account 340,000. అంటే ఏంటిది? ఒక్కొక్క కంప్యూటర్ మనం ఎంత అనుకున్నామండి? 15,000 ఇచ్చాను నేను, గుర్తుందా మీకు? I'll just take you back to the material master. Okay, you see here extras. No. Okay, I'll just go back. Environment, material. So this is my main material, DT computer kada. if you could remember, I have given price as 15,000 desktop computer. చూడండి ఇక్కడ, సారీ 17,000 ఇచ్చానా? ఆల్ రైట్, ఎస్, దీనికి 17,000 ఇచ్చానండి. 17,000 multiplied by 20, is it not 3400? చూడండి టోటల్ వాల్యూ 40,000.
Yes.
మరి మీ స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఎంత అప్డేట్ అయిందండి? Is it not 340,000? For the
Yes.
next floor,
Same thing got updated. Yes.
correct? So మరి దీనికి ఈక్వల్ అండ్ ఆపోజిట్ అమౌంట్ అప్డేట్ కావాలి కదా ఎక్కడైనా. Where will it get updated? Okay, keep this aside. రెండవది ఏంటి? What did I said? Upon doing goods receipt for the subcontracting PO, what is the amount to be given to the supplier that needs to be updated? That is what we call it as GRIR account. Okay, 20 computers వాటి దగ్గర అసెంబుల్ చేయించాను. ఒక్కొక్క కంప్యూటర్ కి ఇన్ఫో రికార్డ్ లో 1,000 రూపీస్ మెయింటైన్ చేశాను. సో ఇట్ మీన్స్ వాట్ 20,000, isn't it? So
Yes.
GRIR, ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ కి స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఒకటి, GRIR అకౌంట్ ఒకటి అప్డేట్ అవుతాయండి. రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ బాగానే ఉన్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ ఇవి చూడండి, మీకు ఇక్కడ 340, what did we discuss? At any moment of time. Okay, so I'll come back to these things little later. మిగతా తర్వాత చూద్దాము. ఫస్ట్ కన్సంప్షన్, రా మెటీరియల్ ఫర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఫినిష్డ్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ చూద్దాం ఒకసారి. బిఎస్ఎక్స్ చూడండి ఇక్కడ, బిఎస్ఎక్స్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఇదేంటిది? 100,000. What is this? Why it is all 100,000? Okay, raw materials అట్లా ఇచ్చాను నేను వాటికి. Let me just go and pick it up. Display purchase requisition, display document, subcontracting stock. I don't require this. Okay, now you see here, I'll go with the element. Not a problem. MM03, okay, 2 GB RAM, isn't it? 2 GB RAM. Look at here, what is 2 GB RAM price that is maintained in the material master? 2,500 only. So 2,500 multiplied by 40 RAMs that I have given, isn't it? So 2,500 into 40, which is 1 lakh. Yes or no?
Okay. Yes, sir.
సో ఈ ర్యామ్స్ కి 1 lakh అమౌంట్ ఖర్చు అయిందండి. అది కూడా స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ లో, ర్యామ్స్ స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ లో తగ్గింది. as you know, any inventory transaction you will see two accounts. Stock account reduce అవుతుంది or increase అవుతుంది. At the same time there is an offsetting entry in case if you are doing goods receipt or goods issue without referring to anything. So GBB, INT, messages, GBB, VBO అని. So this is what we call it as offsetting entry. Stock లో తగ్గింది, consumption account. Consume అయిపోయింది అనుకున్నాం కదా, at the time of goods receipt the component is assumed to be consumed. So
Consume, yes.
So this is the consumption account. అంటే ఏంటి? స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఏమో మైనస్ అవుతుంది, కన్సంప్షన్ అకౌంట్ ఏమో అప్ అవుతుంది.
It will get increased, yes.
Right? So you could see here 1 lakh increased. So let me take you back to the Excel sheet. So this you can call it as consumption account. Oops, I'm sorry. This needs to be maintained here. Control X, stock account, comma, consumption account here, comma, consumption account here, comma, consumption account here. So these three are components. ఈ కాంపోనెంట్స్ కాబట్టి స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఏమో తగ్గుతుంది, కన్సంప్షన్ అకౌంట్ ఏమో పెరుగుతుంది. సో ఇఫ్ యూ లుక్ ఎట్ మై accounting document, the last 6 ఇక్కడ నుంచి చూడండి. సో దిస్ ఈస్ BSX GBB, BSX GBB, BSX GBB 3 into 2. ఒక్కొక్క మెటీరియల్ కి ఒక్కొక్క కాంపోనెంట్ కి 2 అకౌంట్స్ అండి. స్టాక్ ఏమో తగ్గుతుంది, కన్సంప్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది, స్టాక్ ఏమో తగ్గుతుంది, కన్సంప్షన్ పెరుగుతుంది. Similarly, stock తగ్గుతుంది, consumption పెరుగుతుంది. Isn't it? So there will be.
So you also mentioned that sometimes stock account will increase.
Stock account will increase for the goods receipt for the finished product.
Okay.
ఇక్కడ finished product increase అయింది కదా.
Okay. Okay.
ఇది ఫినిష్డ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ కాబట్టి బిఎస్ఎక్స్ అంటే ఇన్వెంటరీ స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ ఏమో అప్ అయింది, కాంపోనెంట్స్ ని అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకున్నాం ఏమని కన్జ్యూమ్ అయిపోయినాయని, కాబట్టి వాటికి తగ్గింది.
Okay. Okay.
రైట్, గాట్ ఇట్. సో ఇంకొక 2 అకౌంట్స్ అప్డేట్ అవుతాయండి. సో వీ హావ్ డిస్కస్డ్ అబౌట్ దిస్ వన్ ఆల్సో. నెక్స్ట్ ఈస్ రా మెటీరియల్ బిఎస్వి 340, రా మెటీరియల్ కన్సంప్షన్ 20. అంటే ఏంటిది, మీరు స్టాక్ అకౌంట్ బాగానే ఉంది, 340 తీసుకున్నారు బికాస్ యూ హ్యావ్ రిసీవ్డ్ 20 assembled computers at the cost of 340,000. మనం ఏమనుకున్నాం, at any moment of time what you should see is the pluses and minuses should be equal. Right? So ఇంతవరకు ఇవి ఈక్వల్ అయినాయి కాంపోనెంట్స్ వరకు, బట్ ఈ 5 ఈక్వల్ కాలేదు కదండి. బిఎస్ఎక్స్ ఏమో 340 ప్లస్ అయింది, డబ్ల్యూఆర్ఎక్స్ ఏమో 20 మైనస్ అయింది. మరి వీటిని ఎట్లా హౌ డు యూ నెగేట్ దీస్ థింగ్స్? 20,000 మైనస్ ని 20,000 ప్లస్ చేయాలి. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ సర్వీసెస్ పర్చేస్డ్ అంటారండి దీన్ని. ఓకే, సో బికాస్ యూ హావ్ పర్చేస్డ్ సమ్ సర్వీసెస్, therefore this is FRL. You know what is this? This is called services purchased. Inka, if you want a clarity, I'll just take you to configuration node /o/spro. I'll just give you over here. That's the reason I asked you to go through the configuration of MMFI integration. మీరు అది చెప్పారంటే ఈ అకౌంట్స్ ఎట్లా అప్డేట్ అవుతున్నాయి అనేది చెప్పారంటే హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఈస్ సక్సీడెడ్, బికాస్ దట్స్ ద వన్ విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ క్రిటికల్. ఎవరు చెప్పలేరు, స్టార్టర్స్ కాదు, ఈవెన్ ది గైస్ హూ ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ దే విల్ ఆల్సో ఫెయిల్ ఆర్ స్ట్రగుల్ టు ఆన్సర్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్. ఓకే, సో కాన్ఫిగర్ where is this automatic account recognition without widget, configure automatic pricing. If you look at here, all these accounts are VBO, BSX, BSV ఉన్నాయి కదండి, ఈ keys with తాలూకు information అంతా ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది మీకు. I'm talking about these transaction event keys. You see here, Control F. Is Control F working? BSV. You see here, change in stock. Change in stock are posted in inventory management the time of goods receipt are recorded or subsequent adjustment made with regards to the subcontracting stock. If the account assigned here is defined as a cost element, you must specify preliminary account. Okay, so this is BSV and change in stock. ఎందుకు change in stock అయింది అంటే because you have given 20,000 to the you are supposed to give 20,000 to the supplier. సో మీరు సప్లయర్ 20,000 ఇస్తున్నప్పుడు ఆ కాస్ట్ ని మీరు ఎక్కడ వేసుకోవాలి? You have to post it into your stock. Therefore, that is called change in stock. Same time, BSV. Okay, sorry, this is BSV only. Change in stock is BSV. Okay, and then FRL. Look at FRL. Somewhere you should see FRL here. Okay. Check external services. Okay, because like I said, this 20,000 is only meant for the services provided by the vendor. So ఈ సర్వీసెస్ ఏదైతే వాడి దగ్గర నుంచి కొన్నామో దానికి మైనస్ వేసాము అంటే బికాస్ వీఆర్ సపోజ్ టు పే టు ద వెండర్. అది ఎక్కడ యాడ్ అవ్వాలి? ఇట్ నీడ్స్ టు బి ఇంక్రీజ్ ఆర్ ఇట్ నీడ్స్ టు బి యాడెడ్ టు ది స్టాక్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద వన్, ఎక్స్టర్నల్ సర్వీసెస్. The transaction is used for goods and invoice receipts in connection with reference to the subcontracting orders. Okay, ఒకవేళ మీకు ఈ subcontracting process లో have never used delivery, FR A1, B1, C1 గుర్తుందా మీకు? కండిషన్ టైప్స్ వాడాం కదా. if you have used those conditions in purchase order, then you would have seen this delivery cost also. FRN అనేది కూడా వస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. Okay, so therefore in principle I would say you will receive, but at the time of receiving the main product in subcontracting, you will have one stock account and one consumption account will be for each, will be there or will be updated for each of the components, and the stock account, GRIR account for the finished product, and also there is something called change in stock and external service charges, right? So these are the accounts which gets updated. So maybe you can rephrase your statement like this: for finished product, for the finished product or the main product, you will have 4 accounts which will get updated. What are they? Stock account increased, GRIR account negative, okay, and then change in stock, because you are receiving the main product, therefore the stock account is getting updated, and accordingly there should be a minus posting into the change in stock account also. That is called BSV, transaction event key, or else if you want me to write it here, I can write the transaction event keys. This is BSX, GRIR account, this is WRX, and change in stock, this is BSV, and external services, this is FRL. Okay, similarly here also BSX, you should say BSX, which indicates stock account, and consumption account, which is called GBB, offsetting entry, GBB comma, you should say BBO. Okay, so this is how they get updated, right? So after that there is an invoice which will be followed up. Okay, so this is what we call it as subcontracting process. There is a small deviation or what we call it as a variation. See, what have I done? When I have issued my components, I have issued the components from my own stores. If I want, I can ask one of my vendor to supply the materials directly to the subcontractor. Even that can be done. If I have to do that one, you know what I have to do? I have to raise another PO, a normal PO for the components like this. I'll just go and give you. Just give me a moment. Display. If I go with here, you see here, these are my 3 components. Control C. What I can do is /O ME21N, maximum number of sessions. Okay, close this. Okay, so ME21N, you can order these components, these 3 components separately. Come on, Control Y, Control C. You can order these components something like 10 over here into 77C plant. Okay, you give this purchase order to maybe Radhika or somebody else, vendor, some other vendor. Okay, so what is the price of hard disk? RAM, I think I remember, it's 2500. This is for the hard disk, right? So hard disk price I would have given 5,000. So let me put it as P, maybe 5,000. CPU PB00, let it be 7000. It's 5000, not 500. Okay. And then there will be the third one, RAM. I think it's 250.
00.
Open control. Okay. So now what you can do is you save this. So Radhika will deliver the material directly to Venkat. Why Venkat? Because Venkat is the subcontractor for this company. Okay. Now you see what I can do is, this is my PO, normal PO. Okay. Let's take some time. Okay, now look at here. I'll go with the other PO. I will go and create one more PO. Now this is going to be my subcontracting PO. So same vendor, Venkat. I think this one, purchase organization, company code. Material 118, right? So what is that material? Come on. I did not remember the material. Just give me a moment. 418 is the main material. So item category L. This is the material. Okay. Quantity, this time I wanted to assemble 5 computers. Okay. So therefore, not possible to determine any components. Right. There is no problem because the components are not working. So what you can do is you can just go and maintain those components. What is that? 2 GB RAM, desktop computer, hard disk, RAMs of 10. These are of 5. This is also of 5. Okay, you check it. Now what you should do is, what is that I am saying? I am asking Venkat to assemble 10 desktop computers, and the service charge for each computer is 1,000. But okay, now you see here, I'm going to save this one. Okay, I'm going to save this one, and also you see, this is my vendor, subcontracting vendor. I'll just go and save this. Let this get saved, right? So this is my subcontracting PO because item category L is there. What is the main PO? This one. Okay, the component PO. Components PO is this one. So here in this PO, what you should do is, go to change mode, go to item details, go to delivery address. Here there is something called vendor. If I can give the vendor as Venkat here and tick this indicator, so that you see here, what is this item? Hard disk will be delivered at Venkat. Are you getting my point? Similarly, for all other items, you can put it like this. For the third item, you see here. So this way, normally materials are delivered at your plant, but in case if you want the vendor to deliver the material directly at your subcontractor, you can enter subcontractor number at the delivery address tab of each of the line item and tick this indicator subcontracting vendor. so that as soon as the material is received by the subcontractor, he will intimate you, he will perform, okay, he will perform the whatever activities that he is supposed to perform. You simply have to do goods receipt for this component, for this PO, the normal PO, which means it is assumed that the subcontractor has received. Okay, I'll just see here, I'll just take a goods receipt, I'll just do a goods receipt for this PO. Okay. Goods receipt. Okay. If I go and hit enter, now you see here where you see here vendor, it's getting delivered at vendor. There is no storage location here. What does it mean? Are you understanding? It means the goods are directly delivered at the vendor's or the subcontractor's place. So,
But generally this is what happens, no sir, because we place order with vendor. So vendor in turn he will get the material from some other like subcontract.
you're right.
We will receive the,
You're right, Radhika.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm telling you this one also.
okay, fine.
Okay, instead of you receiving the material and then sending the material to the subcontractor, why don't you ask your vendor? Okay, so why don't you ask your vendor to deliver the material at subcontractor so that he will do it?
Yes.
Okay, now you do goods receipt for this. It will take some time. Okay, so now if you look at stock overview, have a look at it, refresh it. You see here stock provided to vendor 10. So that post goods issue ME20, you need not have to do it. It is as if by doing goods receipt you are carrying that ME20. You have provided stocks to vendor, right? So instead of ME20, to replace ME20, you can create a new PO for the components and receive the components. While creating PO, at each line item delivery address you maintain the vendor's number so that material will be delivered at the vendor. So this is just a variant available in the subcontracting scenario. So depending upon what process your customer is following, you can either go with process 1 or you can go with the variant. Okay, and as you Radhika said, majority of the time this is what the vendors will, this is what the customers will follow. While creating PO for the components, they specify the vendor address so that material will be delivered at the vendor place. And the finished product, these guys will receive, finished or semi-finished, in the company. So therefore, at that point of time, all those 6 accounts, okay, when I say 6, 4 accounts for the main product, 2 accounts for each of the components. Those 6 accounts will get updated automatically. Okay. So this is what we call it as consignment process. Okay. So we will stop it here and then we will go with the rest of the processes tomorrow. Any questions on this?
No sir.
Pavitra?
No, sir.
Alright then. Thank you. We'll meet at the same time tomorrow.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.